What's going on, everybody? This is Economic News Insights, and today we're going to talk about how fast the world is changing. I mean, we see it all around, right? Like this stuff is changing quickly. I mean, if you don't already know what's coming and what it has been going on, I would say it's probably because you've been, not paying attention, but it's coming up on all of us very quickly. By the way, if you guys are just checking into the chat, smash up the like. Sorry, it's a bit bright in here. I feel like I'm kind of glowing here, probably because my camera is all turned up on aperture on this live stream. But yeah, so I'm seeing it happen socially. Like socially, it seems like people are just going crazier, especially in the West, in like America in particular. I mean, people want to see people fall. Like they're heroes. Everyone used to love their favorite Hollywood actors. They used to love all these people. Nowadays, people are rooting for the collapse of all of these people. They want to see all of the downfall and all of the demise. People are just in a negative wavelength. They're literally wishing ill on even their friends and their family. Like people are not supportive. Like Americans are so divided, and like there's no possible way you could see it. And whether this is by design or it's in the stars, we don't know. But just that alone, socially, things have changed in the US big time. I don't see it as much outside of the US. Like, I mean, outside of the US, it's not as pronounced for sure, especially in Asia. It seems like things are pretty chill. Things are pretty chill in, Europe, it seems like, but in the US, North America, man, people are going nuts. They're literally going crazy, and I don't know what's going on because that's the country that like as America goes, so too does the rest of the world. But we'll see if the rest of the world is going to follow the U.S. on this. But just socially, I'm noticing it. But the big thing that's really coming is AI. So AI automation. I mean, in the next 5 to 10 years, 5 years possible, there's going to be so much job displacement. People don't even realize. Like, I don't know what all of these old people are going to do. Like my dad, my parents, my mom, like your dad, your parents, if they're not into like technology and they don't have any sort of aptitude towards that, I don't really know what they're going to do. I mean, remember when like the gig economy was a big thing? You could drive for DoorDash, you could drive for Uber, you could do a bunch of different things on the gig economy. Even Fiverr was like a big thing, Upwork. All of those jobs are being taken. Like I can literally do pretty much anything that I needed to have done on Fiverr, I can now do on ChatGPT. I can have ChatGPT make new thumbnails. I can have ChatGPT do my SEO. I'm just using that as an example for YouTube, but you can basically do if you haven't used Chat GPT yet, you're missing out. Like that's one form of AI. That's just a chat bot. But once AGI comes out, that's going to be like a whole new level of AI. I just made a video today about Arizona, things to do in Phoenix. Drive around in a Waymo car. That's a driverless vehicle. I mean, what's going to happen when all those become the new thing? They're safer. Like, they just eliminate human error. Right now, they're kind of safe, but they don't drive on freeways. But it's just a matter of time before they're proven to be more safer. It's like autopilot. Autopilot is better than actually a pilot flying a plane, believe it or not. Like you would rather your pilot be flying autopilot on a 14-hour flight because pilots fall asleep in the cockpit. Autopilot, I'm not saying they want to fall asleep, but it happens. It's happened. Anyway, so, millions of jobs are going to be displaced. Data analysis, whether it's transportation with the Uber stuff, customer service, the automated lines, we've seen all that. Even automated customer service, when you call in, obviously everyone hates to, talk to an AI bot on those phone calls. Like you really want to talk to a real person, but it's just a matter of time before like that ends up becoming the new thing. That's AGI basically is going to happen. So new jobs will emerge. That's going to be like AI oversight, robotics maintenance, creative tech. So humans managing the AI. This is where the job market's going to go 5 to 10 years. I don't know where it's going to go after that. Like, I don't know if AI is going to be managing AI. I mean, it's getting crazy. Like, this is just crazy to think about, but expect wide adoption of AI agents. We've got the whole financial system changing. If you don't already know about it, the fiat system is kind of dying out. The dollar, it's all a debt-based system. I mean, every country's got debt. If you look at how much debt the US has, if you look at how much debt China has, if you look at how much debt pretty much every country, like China owns US debt, US owns China debt, and then US actually most of the US debt is owed to Americans by Americans, like Social Security, veterans benefits, pensions, etc. So, I mean, the debt thing is just 37 trillion, it just keeps on growing. And, I mean, they're just going to keep adding zeros onto a spreadsheet, or are they trying to blow out the economy? Like, what's the deal? Well, then you have digital system like Bitcoin coming, and like that's picking up big time lately. Like, Bitcoin is becoming so popular. Like, they just had a Bitcoin conference where the Trump sons were there, Eric Trump, Donald Trump Jr., JD Vance was there. I mean, Trump just bought Bitcoin himself. I mean, Bitcoin is just becoming like a big thing, and it's just a matter of time before that becomes even more popular. And then what happens to the dollar? Like, the dollar could lose its reserve status. People are saying like that will never happen. The same people who said that Bitcoin will never be legitimized are the same people who say that the dollar will never, be dethroned as a global reserve, or that the world would move on. And so like that's happening where like it's a transfer of wealth. Like, a lot of the old money is going to stay in the dollar, and it's going to go to the young money. The youth are going to take the money. The people who, it's like a forced transfer of wealth from old money to new money. Like, you don't want to do anything with your money, old man. Well, we're going to take it and give it to someone who does. And that's going to be the transfer of wealth. I mean, you can get mad about it, or you can like evolve with it. It's like getting mad that, the jobs are going to AI. It's just happening, right? So, personalized technology. This is something that's happening, like how you're going to be interfacing with virtual assistants, AI powered virtual assistants, health for your, doctors might be replaced. I mean, they're talking about AI replacing doctors, like AI knowing more about the body and having a more accurate way to diagnose you than a doctor's brain. So the AI brain knowing more about what could be wrong with you based on your symptoms than a doctor's brain. Crazy, I know, but education as well. Like, there's talking about how kids go to college, they can easily just use ChatGPT and cheat on their homework. Like, back in the day, could you imagine having ChatGPT when you were in college? Like, it's crazy how, like, college is about to be just like a thing of the past just because of ChatGPT. Seriously, like, homework is about to go away. You don't even need to do your homework anymore because you could just use ChatGPT. We didn't have that back in the day. I mean, you going to the library and opening a book was considered a big thing, like an open book test, but you had to like scan through the whole thing, know how to use the glossary, the table of contents. ChatGPT, you just say, what is the capital of blah, 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 whatever you need to know. And then you have hyper personalized content like healthcare, shopping experiences. Like, Amazon's supposed to be a point where they're supposed to know what you need before you even ask it. Um, you know, the digital ID thing, that's like a big thing. Like, we don't even want to get into that because that's just a can of worms that just opens up. But thank you to everyone who's smashing up the likes as we get this out there. I see people chiming in. Eek says, I'm so bad with technology, even though I'm a millennial. I'm really worried about the future. Never even used ChatGPT. Yeah, it's so unfair. I would say if you've never used ChatGPT, smash up the likes. No, but if I would say that if you've never used ChatGPT, you should download it. You should really download it. Start using it. I know people are going to be like, "Well, I'm part of the resistance. I'm part of the people." When has that ever worked out? When has that ever worked out? I mean, it's like you've kind of got to evolve with the times. You could fight it, but I've never really seen anyone in recent memory who's been this like resistor who's succeeded. They've always kind of just been left behind. It's like a day late and a dollar short. They thought they were doing the right thing. It's like, someone who was like late to being a YouTuber, well, they missed the opportunity. Someone who's late to being TikTok, they missed the opportunity. It's like, this is what we're seeing is you kind of got to be ahead of the curve, right? You don't want to be, you want to be waiting for the bus when it comes. You don't want to be the one chasing the bus. This is what happens. Now, another thing that is kind of developing, and I'm noticing this as someone who's been a digital nomad for over 10 years, geopolitical tensions. I mean, there's always been geopolitical tensions. We're on this doorstep of World War III and everything, but it feels like it's getting kind of crazy with the with this. I mean, it almost seems like they're gonna like lock us down again to where like they're gonna close the borders for a while before they open it up. But the US China kind of trade war, it's like, is that manufactured? Is that real? Or is there like what is going on with that? The US versus Russia, you've seen what happens with Trump and Putin, how they kind of talk to each other. And then you have, new alliances where, NAFTA is going away, and then you have BRICS like expanding. You have cyber warfare, like digital espionage, things like this. Like, I mean, the whole way they're doing it, it's like it's not necessarily even conventional warfare. It's like digital warfare. And then, you have like the way that so many people are populating the planet and how like, earthquakes are impacting people more. So people say it's climate change, or, more people are in the path of big storms. It used to be when, the earth wasn't as populated, when a big storm would sweep over, I don't know, the Philippines, there might not be millions of people impacted. Now there's like so many people in the Philippines, so many people in Nigeria, so many people in all these countries, Bangladesh, where there's high population density, India, China, they're in the path of these storms. So like the climate, it appears more violent. We don't, people would say, yeah, there's data suggesting it. And, the climate has always changed, right? You've got ice ages coming in, ice ages coming out of ice ages. It's kind of like cycles. It's like El Nino, La Nina. What causes the climate to change? We don't know exactly. I mean, they've already said that it's not global warming because in some cases it's global cooling. Like recently, we found out that Antarctica is actually growing again. So the icebergs have started to grow. I mean, it's just basically you have to expect the climate to change. It's the Earth cycle. I mean, if you don't know the climate changes, you should look at what caused the ice age. How do you go from an ice age to an ice melt? You get it? I mean, the climate does change, and so I mean, yeah, that's like saying like hurricanes aren't going to happen. Yeah, of course they're going to happen. Earthquakes, they happen. But with all that being said, like as we get more people on Earth, also they're coming out with new technologies that are going to improve health, and people are going to live longer. But also there's going to be a lot of, I think, casualties along the way. We don't know what's going to cause it, whether it be, those things that happen where there's diseases and stuff. I'm not going to use those key words because the videos are always looking for it, but you get the idea. I mean, there could be another one of those like we just saw in 2020. But there's also going to be, health defenses against that certain people with money and funding are going to be able to access that. EKE says, my biggest fear is that countries will start banning Americans from traveling because of Trump. Oh, yeah. I mean, people always talk about stuff like that. It could happen. Geopolitical tensions. Also, there's going to be like a new alliances. There's going to be new friendships. So, as countries kind of go apart, like Russia, maybe, or it could happen to where Russia and the U.S. become friends. You never know. Like, I mean, tension. There is definitely geopolitical tensions. There's no doubt about it, and we don't know what's going to happen. It's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen over the next like 60 to 90 days. That's for sure. With all of that, like who's going to be the new allies, who's going to be the new enemies. I mean, you've seen what happened with the EU coming in and out. What's going on with Canada going in and out. What's going on with Mexico in and out of friendships. It's kind of crazy, right? But also the thing is that we talked about in the very beginning, how society is becoming more fragmented. The polarization between people, like families not being connected. People don't really have friends, especially in the U.S. Like, how often do you socialize with friends? How often do you even see your own family? Like people are very divided from their own friends and family. And then it's just kind of like no one's having any fun. No one's having any real human connection as much as they used to. Sure, it still exists, but is it as rich? Is it as fulfilling? Like most people don't look forward to even holidays anymore. They're just skipping out on holidays completely nowadays. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens. There's definitely going to be some instability, and then expect some stability to come in. But you've got to be flexible during these times because big things are happening. So I would say the best advice is the same advice I'm giving to myself: be flexible, be observant, be willing to learn, be like a sponge, be flexible with everything that's going on. Don't get too attached to anything. Now's the time to just be flexible, be aware of what's going on, and kind of just be, I don't know, like don't really, now you'll notice I'm not really anchored down in anything. I'm just kind of on guard. I'm on standby. I've got positions over here, like I've got investments over here, jobs over here, investments over here, under here, but I'm just kind of taking my time waiting for things to develop. And that's what I would suggest everyone else do. But you guys can let me know what you're doing. As you know, they say in the next 5 to 10 years, things are going to move at hyper speed. So let me know what your guys' plans are. And we'll see what ends up happening from here on out. And Eek says, yeah, I hate how polarized things are. I'm left leaning, but I have friends on both sides. Yeah, I mean, politically, I mean, I might not be left leaning, but I would say I'm middle of the row. I lean a little bit to the right just because I like more conservative, but I also have very left leaning views. Like I would say that, anytime you're liberal on something, it means that you're open minded to something being new. So, like, obviously, being that I believe in travel and living outside the United States would be like more of a left leaning approach, whereas the way that I approach things fiscally are very conservative. I'm fiscal conservative, but I'm also like open minded to new technologies. So that's what liberal is, right? Is like being open to new things. Conservative is like being stuck in the way that things are. So like I would say that I do tend to definitely lean right fiscally, but socially, I tend to have some liberal views for sure on like, the views of like not just being stuck in America and believing that, hey, there's other, if things aren't looking so good where you're at, be open minded. So that's open mindedness. I would say that is a bit of a left idea. But we'll see what ends up happening. Thanks to everyone who smashes up the likes. I can open up for questions now as we've got more people tuning in, but smash up the likes if you want me to keep going. I will. Otherwise, we'll just wrap it up here. And if you missed the live stream, we're 16 minutes into it. If you like getting updates about the live streams, you need to turn on all notifications, and you'll get notified every time we do a live stream. That's what I would recommend if you're just popping in here and missing the live stream. But basically, we talked about socially how things have changed, how people are not as connected, how the money is changing, financial financial system is totally changing. We're going from, fiat, just like we went from the gold based currency. We're going to fiat. We're also coming back into a little bit of a gold based currency. Like gold is hot, gold and silver are hot right now. We'll see what ends up happening. Thanks to everyone who smashes up the likes. We'll see you on the next one.